Hey guys, welcome to Tar Series 7. Today I'm reviewing this, which is the DC Multiverse Killer Croc Collect and Connect Batman 80th Anniversary Wave Kgbeast. So really cool. Really blessed I picked this up today. And yeah, so it's pretty neat. I believe this is the final wave to be put out by Mattel from DC Multiverse. That's kind of really sad for me because the first action figure I ever reviewed on my channel was the Batman Arkham Origins DC Multiverse Batman. So before this kind of became a review channel, I was mostly just talking about things, doing my opinions on TV shows and movies, and when I reviewed that, it kind of started to become a review channel. So yeah, it's really hard, this being the last wave, but you know, it's pretty cool, and I think Mattel has done a good job with Multiverse. I know there's a lot of people that have complained about it, but personally, I think it's always been one of their best series. But up here we have Collect and Connect Killer Croc, we have Kgbeast, we have the nice blue packaging, we got some artwork there, nice clear view in the box. We have DC Multiverse. Really cool up top, we have the Batman 80 Years logo. And we have some more artwork on the side, traditional Multiverse stuff. We have this in the back, we have a bio on him, and the other characters in the wave. So yeah, let's open this up. So as soon as my Kgbeast came out of the packaging, he literally came out like this. Considering how there's a hole there, I'm presuming that, yeah, if I just snap that back in there, thankfully it will snap in. This makes me wonder if Kgbeast was at one point a Build-A-Figure of someone. I mean, he kind of looks like Bane, so maybe this was a Bane Build-A-Figure. But definitely be careful how you're getting these out of the packaging. I know the last new figure I reviewed was Black Lightning, and when I tried to switch the arms on him, the lightning arm, completely came off the hinges. So just remember to be careful with these. But yeah. And I also want to show this. Usually I show the accessories later on, but you'll notice this big gun arm he has, which is super cool. You get this little silver pipe that you can kind of push in there. You can push it all the way or kind of have it out a little bit, but it does have that. And you also get this giant knife, which is really cool. And you can fit it in his hands if you'd like to do that, which is pretty neat. It does fit in there a little bit better. Or you can actually put it on here and give him like this knife gun arm, which is just so crazy looking but amazing all at the same time. I absolutely love that. That's pretty cool. I like that you can have it on either of those ways. That's pretty neat. And lastly, for accessories, you get these two like little knives, which are really cool, and he can hold these. Just the only thing that's a little weird, like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to always get accessories, but it is a little strange that they give you two when he only has one hand to hold one of them. Like, that's the only thing I'll say is a little weird, but I mean, it's accessories, so I don't mind. Accessories are always good. And you do get these holsters on his boots, and you can plug the knives into there, which is very nice. So at least that way you can kind of have it being held in some capacity when he's not wearing it or holding it on his hand. So that's nice that you can do that. And the detail on him is really good. I love the detail on the mask, actually. I think it looks really cool. This is based on the Rebirth version. Very neat looking. It's got the red that kind of goes through there. Very cool, the white out eyes. And it's got some nice paint to it and everything. It's got these silver spikes on his shoulder, which will cause some of these free red lines. I love the texture they used for this, too. The body on it looks really good. And then he has these red stripes that come around his arm here. There's some circle patterns, too. And then he's got the big gun arm, which I mentioned. Big sword gun arm. Very cool looking. It's got some silver and some red. And it's got this little thing here, the gray-black thing that kind of holds it in. It looks really good. It does rotate too. And then he's got these kind of like belts that go around that has these knife blades on them. He's got a little satchel belt and some satchels there, pockets. Nice crease wrinkle effect, some silver. You can see the boot holders for the knives, which are good. The red stripes. And that's pretty much it for detail in terms of articulation. You got a 360 at the head. You can look up and down. 360 at the arms. They swing out the shoulder. 360 there. Bendability at the elbow. 360 at the wrist. Or, you know, what would be the wrist. And this wrist is also on a hinge, by the way, just letting you know. Doesn't really have an ab crunch, but this is like a separate piece, so that might be limiting it. You do have a 360 there. Just be careful with the waist, like I mentioned in mine. The legs come forwards, backwards, and outwards. You have bendability at the knee, no rotation there, but the feet do move up and down, and yeah, so overall I say this is a pretty good action figure. quite frankly, I'm not sure if Mattel has ever done Kgbeast before. I don't believe they've ever done him in Multiverse. They may have done him in one of their previous lines, however, though, but I don't think they've ever done him in Multiverse before. And he's definitely a really cool action figure. You know, he doesn't have a lot of popularity. I know personally myself, I'd never heard of him before Arrow, but I think he's definitely a really cool action figure. Definitely has a nice design for him, and you know, I'm glad they decided to include him too, being obscure and everything, but very cool. For a height comparison, here's him with the Arrow DC Multiverse action figure. Separate continuities for the two, but they do look good together. Here's a comparison for the DC Movie Multiverse Aquaman. So he's around the same height of a lot of the Multiverse figures, and yeah, definitely worth picking up. And I do want to say this before I end the video, but for him, you get the head and the abdomen for Killer Croc. Well, Killer Croc, like, some of the pieces on him are the same that they used for King Shark, particularly this piece. And this piece, like for King Shark, came with Zoom, which was the rarest figure of that wave, one of the hardest to find. And yeah, so, you know, if you were trying to build King Shark and you couldn't get that piece, you could get this with the Kgbeast wave, which seems like it's going to kind of be more common. Seems like he's not one of the harder ones to find. You could find him like this, repaint it a little bit to match King Shark. And, you know, with King Shark's head, he came out, like, they did an alternate head with Robin as a Toys R Us exclusive. And I believe that one's pretty common. I think you can still find online cheaply, so, you know, you'd have to do a little bit of customizing and paint this like King Shark, but you could make King Shark if you ever had the other pieces that weren't entirely all that hard to find as Zoom, and you could finally build them in case you're wanting to do that. That's just something I want to mention. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please rate, like, and subscribe.